I released a lobster from the grocery store into the ocean. That was a lot of fun. I thought I was saving its life, but...
Today we have a very special guest joining us, content creator Mark Roberts. Thanks for joining us today, and how is everything going for you?
Everything's good. Thank you for having me.
Start off this interview, get to know you a little bit. How was attending Temple University?
Temple was good. It was nice, right in the heart of Philly. Nice having access to the city.
What major were you?
Marketing.
Throughout like college and everything, and even now, what do you do aside from like work, like your hobbies and the city life?
I'm a runner. I run a lot. That's like my biggest hobby probably. And I love traveling. I've been to a lot of different countries. I can't think of any other hobbies that I have. Social media, I guess, but that's also partly work.
Where have you been outside of the country?
I've been to, I counted before, I've been to like 26 countries.
Dang.
26 countries, I think. Europe, India, Thailand. I'm just listing countries. But I really like traveling. I like all types of traveling. My sister also lives in Germany, so it makes it easy. If I want to go somewhere, I can just visit my sister.
Oh, that's amazing. Which country was your favorite to visit?
I don't know if I can choose. I think all of them have their own unique aspects to them that I really like. Some of the countries I really enjoyed was India and Thailand.
What about them made them so special?
India, it's just like really different culture, and it was interesting seeing people live just completely different lives than me. Same with Thailand.
Do you like flying, or how was like the flying experience for you? Are you kind of like used to it already, or?
Yeah. I've flown for a really long time since I was a kid. I kind of hate flying, but I think everyone hates flying a little bit.
yeah, that makes sense. It's awful.
It's all for the destination.
Yeah, because it's like no one wants to be on a plane for that long of a time.
Yeah.
It's so brutal.
Yeah.
Do you have any future trips planned out of the country, or like maybe somewhere else in the U.S.?
Yeah, my lease ends in Philly September, and after that, I want to travel for like 6 months.
Oh, that's awesome.
So all over Europe probably, and then maybe into like North Africa.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful location.
Yeah.
But a couple of years ago, I was in Egypt and everything. And
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like a beautiful location.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in like North Africa or Africa?
No, I really want to go there. My brother, he spent like a lot of time in Morocco, and he was telling me about that. My sister and my dad, they recently went to Egypt too.
Okay.
And they said it was awesome. So. Made me really want to go.
Yeah, it's definitely like one of those places, like you were saying with India. It's like a completely different culture and different like atmosphere, which is cool to experience.
Yeah, the culture shock is crazy.
It's wild. At least in like Egypt, for example, like there's like packs of wild dogs and everything.
Yeah.
Still in the process of planning, but is it more staying in a location for like a week or a month, or like how long are you planning to stay?
I was thinking month to month. I think I'd get an Airbnb for like in each country that I visit, and I'd try to make like content around that. So it's like partially work, not all pleasure, but it will be fun. I know that. Perfect
segue. Transitioning to social media, how has your experience been with the recent momentum of TikTok and everything?
I've been doing social media for a while now. It all started back in like, I started taking it seriously back in like 2021, 2022. I'm in marketing. That's all about like promotion, and the new form of promotion was social media. I wanted to get like my hands in the game a little bit back in like 2021. So I started posting videos, and I started by making these like cringy manifestation videos and like stupid like inspirational videos for people. I wasn't fully committed to the bit. I was just like, oh, it's cool that I can grow a community from this. And then later on, I started making story time videos, and that's where I really found like a passion in. I really liked telling stories. It was just like a rocket ship to the top after that. I started growing really rapidly. In the beginning, it wasn't like anything crazy. I didn't get any like brand deals or anything like that. I was kind of just doing it for the fun of it all. Right before graduation, I started making money, more brands started reaching out to me, and then I was like, wait, I could make this my full-time thing. And yeah, it took off, and I did that. I've grown exponentially since, and I continue to grow, and I hope it stays this way. Yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Oh yeah, that was perfect. What has your kind of experience been? Like when the brands started to reach out, and how did you kind of figure out which ones were okay with like the agents, which ones to kind of accept with the brand deals, and which agents to sign to? and not signed to?
At first, when I started getting brand deals, it was like some random app or like some really small company where it was like, I don't really want to work with you. But the first brand I worked with, I'm not going to name their name, but it was like a small app. And I decided to work with them because I didn't get any other brand deals, and I did it. Looking back, I realized that I got ripped off. Oh. But I'm so happy I took that brand deal because I learned so much from it. As I grew, I started getting more and more brand deals, and I started to work with more companies that I wanted to work with. And eventually it became like too much. Like I had my email in my bio, and it became way too much for me. I was just getting so many emails. I couldn't keep up with it all. So that's why I decided to get an agent. And now it's like weird not getting emails anymore. Like I just don't have to worry about that. And I'm like, what do I do with my time now? I'm not answering emails. It really changes really quickly. Like you could be at 700,000 followers and like you're not getting any brand deals. And brands, they have really weird metrics that they go by. So like you could hit 800,000 and then all the brands reach out to you because that's in their quota. Like they're like, all of the creators we work with are above a certain amount of followers or whatever. And I really saw that after I hit 1 million followers on TikTok. I just got like so many emails from all of these different brands. And that's why I decided to sign with an agency.
We were kind of talking about this before the interview, but finding agents is so tricky because you don't want to get scammed, especially within this world. There's so many like people getting scammed because so many more people are coming into the industry not so knowledgeable and everything. How did you navigate finding the right agency for you?
I reached out to a lot of different agencies. Some agencies reached out to me. I could kind of like talk to my creator friends and they would tell me like which agencies were good and which ones were not good. But then also just talking to the agency themselves, you can kind of get the sense of what I've had agencies that they've reached out to me and then they don't respond after that, even though when I respond. So I'm like, I don't want to be signed to you because you may not respond.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah, there's like telltale signs that you shouldn't be working with someone, and that's one of them.
That's something that I never really like thought about, of just like how that you interact with the agency and everything can be a big telltale sign and everything. How do you decide on what story to tell and kind of what is your method of creating a story time video?
I could be hanging out with friends. I could be on a run. I could be with family. And when I'm there, I'll have an idea or I'll experience something that I'm like, this would be a great story. And before it leaves my head, because I'm like very ADHD, I write it down in this little notes app in my phone. And I have like 1,000 ideas. And then when it comes to actually making the story and telling it to my audience, I look through all of the things that I wrote down, have like a loose script, I'll write it out, and I'll change the names. I'll combine ideas sometimes, so it's not exactly the story, so nobody gets butthurt about anything.
Yeah.
I'll go from there, and I'll try and make like an engaging story. And then when I'm filming, I'll change some things up to make it even more engaging.
Watching your TikToks, they're so engaging. Every like second, I was thinking while watching, I'm like, you have to have a script, and then I'm like, how are you like so detail oriented? The reason why I wanted to ask your major too was because like I didn't know if you were like a theater major or not.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that do social media that are theater. No, but I know theater majors, and I think my marketing major, it's like a different perspective on social media because it's like I see it from both like the social media companies side and the brand side. So I kind of know how brands position themselves in front of people. So I kind of know how to position myself in front of people.
Oh, okay.
And that kind of helped me a little bit. It helped me having like the passion to like even go into social media, and gave me the bravery to do social media because I realized in marketing, people that do social media create a lot of value. And I saw that this could be real for me. And I could actually make this a living, and I could make this like a whole career if I wanted.
You literally read my mind. I was just about to ask. It seems like you have such a like a good grasp on social media like presence. Not to like analyze it, but like your mannerisms. You're very energetic throughout the entire video. You're very personable, and I was just like curious how you like were able to learn that and adapt that into your content.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I learned a lot from marketing. You are your brand. That's what I learned. It's like your personal brand. It means a lot if you're able to like show that off and you're able to kind of like tweak it, you can make something really valuable.
Which story has been your favorite to deconstruct and construct again to be put on TikTok?
I don't know. I have so many stories. My favorite story, one of my favorite stories, and it kind of got me in a little bit of trouble, was a story where I was talking about how my father took me to church one Sunday. And basically, like, I don't need to get into the details of it all, but basically he calls me up the next day and he's just like, he lives in a retirement community, and the people in his retirement community watched the video and they were like, you did this? And of course, I was very dramatic in the video and I made him out to be kind of like this, I don't know, maybe not the best character in the world, not the worst, but like, I didn't paint him in like the most amazing light. He calls me the next day and he's like, people in my community are talking about this. Oh my gosh. He was happy and also kind of confused how it like happened, because he's just so far removed from that world. It was a lot of fun to tell that story. And it also taught me a lesson that I should probably exclude names more often than I thought I should have. I tried to do my best job at changing the story enough that no one would be able to, I don't know, connect the dots.
How did the people at the retirement home find the video?
I mean, I don't know. I guess they had TikTok or something. Maybe one of the grandkids showed the parents or something like that. I really have no idea. But I remember he calls me up and he's just like, that's not exactly the way it went. Like, he was telling me, like, yeah, I know, but like I had to do it for the video.
It's so hard explaining to like your parents like how you have to deal with the social media world, because it's so complicated, so many layers.
The reason I liked that interaction so much was because it kind of brought him into it. It created this opportunity to kind of show my father what social media was all about. And I think that was the moment where he was like, wait, this has a lot of value in it. Like, my community knows about this. I think it was pretty eye-opening. And after that, he started asking a lot more questions about social media as a whole. So
that's amazing.
It's cool.
I feel like I don't really understand like something until like you see it in front of you and be able
and it affects you.
And especially around your like community. Like, if it's not around your community, kind of, it's like hard to understand. That's so amazing that he was able to get it surrounded with that like community where they're in that social media world. Has there been any other instances like that where someone has like texted you or called you about a story?
All the time. I get like a couple texts every now and I mean, it stopped more recently, but like when I first started doing this, I would get texts all the time like, oh, you're going viral or something like that. I have like a recent series where I raise ants in an ant farm, and people are texting me and they're like, I want an update. And these are people I know in real life, and they're like, Mark, I want to know how the ants are. And I'm like, the video is going to be posted soon, but like, they're fine now.
That was going to be my next question, is if we could have like an inside scoop of like a little ant update, because those videos are so funny, so like engaging as well. And I'm like, can you give like a little ant update if possible?
They're doing well. I think my most recent video, I said that I couldn't see the ants. I didn't know where they were. I did in fact see them recently, so I know they're not dead. I
got so worried. I'm like, where did they go?
I collaborated with this ant farm small business in the Netherlands, and they sent me over a new ant farm, and they were telling me like all the ins and outs, or not the ins and outs, the pointers of when raising an ant farm. And they were saying that they disappear for a while. They'll go into the nest, they'll disappear, and then until they have more numbers, then they'll go out into like the world and be more, I don't know, they'll show themselves more.
Like social almost? That's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like they hibernate for a little bit.
Yeah, it's interesting. I clearly did not know what I was getting into when I recorded that first video, but then it got all those views, so I had to continue it.
Yeah, I'm so happy you did. I just like when you give ant updates and everything. And this also leads to another question too, because with the ant videos, they're more like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's kind of like more a day in the life, but not really. It's kind of like a little update in your life of what you're kind of hyper-paced on, because I also have ADHD too. It's really cool to see different projects like that. How do you film TikTok that's kind of in that manner versus a story time?
I mean, it's completely different. I used to, I think a couple months back, I was posting more life content, but recently I've just been busy with other things, so I haven't been able to do that. But it's completely different ways of going about filming and like creating a video. Story time videos, like I said, I just go to my list and I'm like, okay, I'll make a story on this topic or this topic. I'll talk about my experience with that. But when it comes to the ant farm, I'll usually have like an interest. I'll be like, that looks really cool. I could do that. And I think I saw a video of somebody with an ant farm. What if I just got some ants? And I did it, and here we are now. I've done videos with trying on Halloween costumes and like some stupid things as well. I released a lobster from the grocery store into the ocean. That was a lot of fun. I thought I was saving its life, but the comments said otherwise. It's a completely different process. I'm just like, what if I did that? I have like a really dumb idea. I'm like, I'm just gonna try to make a video out of it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Not to bring it back to like the ADHD code in mind, but I feel like you capture through the editing, the way you speak, and like your ideas are so engaging and fascinating to watch, because I do the same exact things in my real life and everything. I'm like, I get hyper fixated on a project, or I get an idea, I'm like, I must do this idea and everything, and it's really cool to be able to see it online and be able to like relate to it. Really interesting to see.
Yeah, working in social media is really good at ADHD tendencies because it values hyperfixation in a way. Like if I'm interested in something, I can go full throttle on it. I can learn a lot about it. That's like the plus of it. I'm not really limited in what I do on social media. I can kind of do what I want to do.
To wrap up the interview, what's next? Any projects coming up? I know you said you were traveling.
I mean, when my lease ends, I plan on traveling for minimum 6 months, maybe longer. I signed to an agency kind of recently, so there's things in the works there. Still like very, very new. I won't get into the specifics of those. I want to grow on YouTube. I was thinking of even starting a podcast, but that would be later down the line. That's about it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. What social media handles do you want to plug?
I'm Mark Roberts with 2 M's at the beginning, everywhere. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
Yeah, everything's going to be below in the description.